Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome back to the Reddit Estate. We've got quite a few things to discuss in this episode, but before we get started, I've been real dumb. I'm actually, I realized this after recording the last episode and kind of looking at what my options were for my level 6 characters, and I do not have the guild upgrade to actually allow these guys to get rank 5 skills. So, there's not a chance that we're going into the darkest dungeon today. Sorry about that, but that just seems tantamount to suicide. I'm actually really surprised these guys have all made it to level 6 and survived, given that I was running without the instructor mastery unlocked. I also feel kind of silly for that. So instead, let's do this. We need some more portraits. I'm going to go ahead and buy them now, but we're going to need... Oh, no, wait. That's not what I want to do. I want to do busts, and then I need 10 portraits. Man, busts are worthless. Okay. And then we need 9 crests. So let's do something like that. Awesome. All right. That allows us to get the upgrade, and then we're looking at 4 characters getting 8,000 apiece. We need like 30,000 gold to make that party worth it. All right, this may take a few episodes of grinding, or I may break down and just sell lots and lots of stuff. I could probably get 30,000 gold real quick if I needed it. But I do have my only dedicated healer currently undergoing some treatment there. So I think it's time we bring out some newbies. And we do have 4 characters that have been freshly renamed. No one actually wanted to be our Vestal, or no one spoke up in the previous episode. So if someone wants to speak up in this one, we will end up renaming her. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and take in Norgan, Ervik, Brillant, and Fesser as a party. And I think this little outing into the cove should be a-okay for them. We don't have a dedicated healer, but I think we can be okay here. I might consider battlefield medicine as being a necessity, since we don't have anyone that can heal. But all these guys can use all of their abilities from these ranks, which is actually quite nice. So I'm not too concerned there. We should probably get them a few trinkets before we go out, though. Let's do one thing, and we're going to go ahead and grab battlefield medicine on Fesser. And then... I think maybe we get rid of Disorienting Blast. I so very rarely find myself wanting to use that. Emboldening Vapors is also pretty situational, but I'm thinking that Emboldening Vapors combined with the Abomination's Rake might be a really good wombo combo of upping his damage. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime... We're already... Okay, there we go. Dodge and damage isn't bad. Get even more dodge and a little bit of speed. Up his trap disarm. I'm not going to get anything out of the scouting, truth be told. So maybe let's look elsewhere. For what? Do we have... we don't. I was looking for an Ancestors map being available. Without one... Little glass cannon action. Damage on range. That's not... Accuracy. Okay, with up accuracy, my damage overall will be reduced. My dodge chance is still up by 10. Now it increases ranged accuracy, but... all of his damaging abilities, or at least all except Blackjack, are ranged, so he does actually get the bonus from that. And then, got some pretty good stuff here. Blight chance, ranged accuracy, blight chance again. That's going to make Plague Grenade and Noxious Blast both like real solid. So I'm pretty okay with that. Then damage and speed, but less HP. Why not? And then how about a nice just like straight damage increase? Even less HP. Less max 20%. That takes down 2. It's not the worst thing in the world, right? At least I certainly hope not. And then what do you say to like a tough ring and a longevity patch? I may revisit those given a little bit more time to think and min-max it a bit more, but that seems fine for an initial outing. This is just going to be an apprentice mission. These guys are level 0, but I think they're going to hold up pretty well. We did equip that skill. Yes, we did. I think I'm okay there. Let's see. Full food, we are going to rest in the middle, so it seems worthwhile. This is the cove, so shovels also mean chest. Not really much in the way of anti-venom, but... or bandages, really. They're mostly going to mean just... I feel like there's like a coral that can make us bleed. It's been a little while, I think, since I've been in the cove. One of those 2 keys and like 7 torches, 8 torches. Why not? I feel pretty okay with that. Hopefully, we don't run into any collectors right away, as we have in the past. But I think it can be all right. Now, so like minor setback on the Darkest Dungeon. I would like to get in there soon. Our roster is full, and I feel like we should probably start working towards freeing some of that up just by defeating Darkest Dungeons and therefore getting kind of 4 more character slots.
The smell of rotting fish is almost unbearable.
That initial scout actually makes me feel quite a bit better here. And then, all right, 80% chance. Ooh, not quite, huh?
Mind that such missteps are the exception and not the rule.
Oh, that's real solid. Houndmaster, which is pretty much relies on being a dodge tank, is sitting at negative 20 dodge for the next 12 rounds. Hopefully we don't encounter too much combat before that becomes relevant. So the other thing I want to talk a little bit about is some stuff outside of the game. And that stuff is kind of the explanation for where videos went this week. My job... oh, man. It's medicinal herb? Yes. Nice. Okay. My job ended up sending me on a bit of an errand rather unexpectedly late one afternoon, and I ended up then visiting 5 states in 4 days and did not have any sort of a backlog to speak of in order to make sure that videos were still going up. And I don't know, I was about to say I do apologize for that, but you know, like I feel like these things kind of are going to happen. I'll definitely want to work on having the backlog of videos in preparation for any sort of unexpected trips. But at the same time, after visiting 5 states in 4 days, like I am not in the mood to be apologizing to anything, basically. I got back at about... now let's see about this. 47 plus 4, or I could bleed all of them. 5, 3... you know what? Let's just try to nail her right away. With our level 0 guys, I am a little bit concerned perhaps about our... yeah, I say we do it. about our stress, especially with an abomination in the party. Like, it's all just sort of compounding, right? Could have really used like a nice crit there, but well. What do we do here? I think we just hit something. I would really like to get a kill so that these guys don't get
Press this advantage.
4 actions.
Give them
Thank
no
you.
quarter.
Alright, so I ended up getting back late, like 11 p.m. on Friday night. Pretty much collapsed into a coma. I'm now recording this on Saturday, and to top some of that off, I am going to be our duty technician starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I don't exactly have to go to work, but I don't exactly have my time all to myself. Hopefully nothing catches fire on Sunday, and I don't end up having to actually do much, but we'll see. I kind of think we untransform. We get the stress back, and 1. We get a little bit of stress back, and then I might be able to like manacle here for the stun. Nailed it. If we can just kill the cultist brawler. 4. Yes. Okay. And this fight is sorted.
By inches.
I guess technically I have the ability to heal. You know what? So let's see if this does anything. Like, technically I have the ability to de-stress. That's probably more worthwhile than the healing.
Slowly, gently.
Truth be told.
This is how a life is taken.
Heirloom chest, probably not worth using a key on.
Wealth beyond measure.
Okay.
Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
So on Sunday, I will start a week as our duty technician for like after hours and weekend calls. We don't tend to get a lot of that as we kind of support businesses that are primarily Monday through Friday type tasks, but you know, things do happen, and that might make me rectifying any sort of backlog issues harder, if not impossible, because I can't count on necessarily being able to record this coming week either. I know that sounds like really bad news, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. I'm just, after being sent on a week-long errand, I am kind of preparing for the worst. I do... Oh, man. The last thing I want to see is a damage buff on a pelagic grouper. And I think we actually try for the stun on him. Thank God that hits. And then I'm actually a little bit worried about this fight for some reason. Like the shaman... Man, just all these guys are awful. This means consistent stuns. The grouper has the ability to hit real hard. Huh. And then this guy's just got, you know, all the protection in the world, basically. I was really hoping to see, like, a crit from that.
Their formation is broken.
That's great.
The offensive.
The grouper eliminated, like, their primary source of DPS, I feel like, is down. Stress waves aren't wonderful, especially as he hits 76. Okay, you know what? Even de-stressing him might not be the worst idea, but let's focus on getting these guys dead, or at least like fully under control, before we start considering options of de-stressing ourselves. All right, now on a 4 to 7 scale, 4 was not quite the number I wanted. Okay. That's good. Blight basically negates this thing. It's like pouring salt over the sea maggot there. Okay. Well, that's not bad. And that's not good. Okay. Was this the stun, though? You're gonna die. This would probably kill him. But I think the stress waves coming from the back might be my biggest concern. I didn't love that dodge. Okay, let's try for another stun and instead accidentally kill him. I was thinking we might have just been able to get away with like an entire turn of de-stressing.
Unforeseen, unforgiving.
But it was not in the cards.
This expedition at least promises success.
I think we're just going to leave the jade behind. I might consider letting these guys eat just a little bit. I'd even consider camping soon, due to stress levels more than anything. You get rooms explored.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
I really wanted to scout to see, like, did I want to go that way? So what? Let's head up here, hope for the camp on our way back. I mean, it does mean, like, a single stress-inducing enemy could be real bad. Is this... That was healing. Okay, I remembered it being healing. I didn't remember if maybe it was a stress heal.
Another mariner, another misfortune.
But I was very wrong. As you can probably tell, if not from my gameplay, then from the recent story, I haven't played not just Darkest Dungeon, but any video game in like a week. So rust may be very, very apparent at the moment. Does that provide any, like, a stress resist? I don't think it does. I'm, like, really just... The difference between this being just an empty room and this being a fight that potentially causes Brillant to have a stress check would have been huge. So I'm glad to see an empty room. Alright, let's go ahead and head back. Let our light dwindle a little bit here, and then once we get back, I think we're gonna camp just for the de-stress more than anything. Food's not, or healing's not such a big deal, but our stress levels have really piled on, kind of compounded, I think, by a level 0 party. Also, our inventory's full.
Huddled together, furtive and vulnerable, rats in a maze.
So let's see here. Stress reduction, speed up, damage up, but stress. Let's remove his, add his. So, you really need that much healing? You don't really need that much healing. Okay. All companions, yeah. That seems like a good idea. And then, how many time units do we have left? 3. I guess it would de-stress herself a little bit. More speed, or... I think we do the pep talk. Stress resistance for 4 battles. Like, I don't know exactly how useful that's going to be, but it is certainly something. It's better than nothing. Can anyone carry it?
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Sadly, we did not bring a Jester along with us for this dungeon crawl. Alright. Won't say no to unburned torches. And what do we got in this room? Oh, nice. Scout? Scout. I wish it would have gone farther than that. But that's something. We can always get another scout in the room to come. So that's something. Since I have returned, and I spent a bit of the day being kind of lazy, to be perfectly honest with you and myself. I thought about recording...
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
I thought about recording videos much earlier in the day, which was something that I was like, I need to get some stuff out there, but like I was just real tired, man. Just real tired. Nice. However, before I started recording, I did take a look. You know what? I think I'm actually going to just like do that right away and get rid of him. And then we're going to do this. And then we're going to do this. Okay, that's pretty good. And then 6, 1, 3. Ugh. You know what? Not enough. I needed 1 more damage to him. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's really annoying. Alright. The riposte was like a really huge payoff kind of move. I was like, hopefully it does all these amazing things. Unfortunately, we left the grouper alive for a turn that we did not need to leave him alive for. And no one cared that we marked our man-at-arms. Not even a little bit. Anyway, before I started recording...
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Darkest Dungeon, I did spend a little bit of time looking at a game that I've been sent a press key for that I haven't recorded yet, but I think looks really awesome. And I'll be making a video of that for Thursday, which is when the embargo lifts and when the game comes out. And it's another one of those titles that I think isn't going to necessarily have really broad appeal, but to the niche market that it appeals to, I think they're going to just fall in love with this game, kind of thing. Ooh. That hurts a little bit. Okay. So yes, so glad we did the riposte thing, right? Like it was...
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
The smartest and most helpful of things that I could have done. Alright, let's see if we can't just shut this guy down for a little while. First of all, bandage. Second of all, absolution. Third of all, cry havoc. And he really benefits from being blighted due to his 58% protection there. Command, I could retribute. What is he most likely to do? Just punch something like real hard, right? Let's just hit him instead. That's not so bad, especially if we resist the bleed. And we just need to do 5 damage to the guy. I think I can see myself doing 5 damage to the guy. Actually, I can just hit him with another blight, or that also works. Okay, so he's going to die, which means we can spend this time with Battlefield Medicine and crit for 2. Hey.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Probably shouldn't mock the stress reduction. It might actually prove worthwhile. Parties left? Like, to them, they made a left turn. Something like that. And a little bit of gold. Okay. But yeah, I'm actually like really excited to play that game and show that game off. I think it's quite unique. And like nothing I've played either before or in a very long time. But you'll wait and see like 4 days until the embargo lifts. So I I will show it off then. In the meantime, I'm hoping to crack out a handful of Darkest Dungeon episodes tomorrow. If this is maybe the only one I get done tonight, as it is slightly after dinner. What am I thinking here? This doesn't really feel like a dog biscuit kind of fight. This feels a little bit more like, with him being in the 3rd rank, he becomes just much less frightening to me. 9, we're doing 3, we need to do 6 more to him. You know what, why not? These guys are just going to stun, like that's my assumption here, that they don't really do much damage. If you're fighting a party of just deep stingers, like you're just gonna get hit by shockers repeatedly, it might be annoying because you're gonna kill them at a slightly reduced speed. Now they do have that. I think it's I'm assuming that's a bleed inflicting, but it's mostly just going to be, yeah, I guess they synergize with the bleed resist there. But I think it is just mostly going to be stuns over and over and over and over again. And Professor, they really like you.
Assault cannot be left unanswered.
Of course, critical hits don't help anybody. Let's see, you're taking damage from that already. 2 more turns before you would die. Or we just kill you. Let's just kill you. Then we should easily be able to do 12 damage to this guy, right? Unless they stun Ervik. Oh, now we actually have a slight problem. Why do we have a slight problem? Never mind. Not if we do 8 damage with that. It's like, we don't really have a party... never mind.
Quakes.
Okay. Several of
Trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Several of our party members are more damage over time and status-y, like the Abomination in his human form, the Plague Doctor, and I'd say the Houndmaster is you know, kind of a bleed-centric character build, but none of that seemed to apply if we're just going to hit with crits, and that was fine. I'm not going to complain. I don't think we get rid of anything for 2 busts. I think we say we're okay with the 6 we've already collected. We're definitely walking a little bit of a razor's edge on stress. HP's been looking real good through this whole dungeon, don't get me wrong. And that's always something that seems like a little counterintuitive when you're rolling without like a real dedicated healer. But when you're rolling without a dedicated healer, you're generally doing far more damage and clearing the field a little bit faster than you might otherwise. Ooh, this looks scary though. Let's go ahead and pop that here. We can spread this, but I think we just try to eliminate their healer ASAP. Oh, that is such a good dodge. Okay.
A singular strike.
Healer eliminated. Alright then. Now I'm thinking... we're going to stun him. And he's going to take 8. So he'll be a really easy to kill for somebody. Man, don't love your HP at the moment. And then... in fact, if we could just do 3 damage to him here, that never works. I've made that gambit twice now, and it has not worked either time. Also, him being barnacled is just downright awful. You know what? We're gonna start your damage over time train, and let's see if we can stun to remove the guard. Since we couldn't, we'll do a big AoE attack, which hits everybody regardless of the guarding. Okay, things are looking fine. maybe not super excited about our Abomination's HP, because that could have easily done more. Ooh. And with the added bleed, that could have easily done enough to get him on death's door, potentially kill him. So let's try to play this as safe as possible. And we're gonna go Battlefield Medicine there. And then this would need to do 4. It can't do 4. So let's just take the guaranteed kill instead.
Masterfully executed.
Alright, good crit. His protection is, like, stupid right now, though. That could have easily done 8 as well. Okay. Abomination's health definitely becoming a cause for concern. But I do think our Noxious Blast are kind of our best damage dealer against him. And then, you know what? Let's just guard our ally. Okay.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Cool little guardy jester shoes. You know what? They're probably worth more than a bandage. And then a shovel.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles. Paid for in blood.
And we got another bandage back, but we're going to toss that away as well. Alright, we should be coming up, like, real close on fully exploring this. I think the next room will actually do it, which is good, because we're out of torchlight.
Carelessness will find no clemency in this place.
Yeesh, that's the second time the back member of our party has somehow walked into a trap. Don't ask me the logistics on that one. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But our torchlight dwindling, I believe that will do it. Awesome. You know what? Continue adventuring. We don't get a scout. I don't think pressing forward makes any sense here. We're really just too close to Brillant kind of freaking out, and then everything could pretty quickly start to collapse. A little disappointed, like, we didn't see any opportunity for skeleton key use or holy water and, like, 1 medicinal herb. So I definitely overpacked for all this, but hey, you know, that's what you should come to expect here.
We will find all manner of great and terrible things in this watery tomb.
Alright. Great, terrible, watery, check. Got about 9,000 gold out of it, so certainly profitable. I actually don't even know that it... Yeah, it doesn't even show... and I guess that makes sense. It doesn't show our trinkets as like a reward, but at this point, you know, I would say a common trinket is basically just worth the gold conversion rate. Guilty conscience. You didn't let anything bad happen to Ervik. You did fine. I guess it's the deeds imagined part. Ruins Explorer, that's, you know, it's something. And everybody made it to level 1 instead of to an early grave, which I think is probably the most important accomplishment there.
Let each help the other, and in so doing, help themselves.
Ooh. Level restrictions removed for next quest. Helping Hand. Putting ego aside does not come easily to such seasoned survivors, but the new recruits are palpably grateful for the assistance. That raises some really interesting questions about how to handle the next outing. We mostly just got rid of diseases here. That Black Plague is real serious. And Vicante removed a bit of stress. I tell you what. Oh man, does that not look like the coolest thing ever? Oh wow. Okay, so I've never had this town event available before. This is one of those things, like, I would always hear people armchair game design complain about constantly, was that it's not fair. I can't bring my level 6 people into the level 1 dungeon in order to just, you know, WTF pwn all of the things. And that always seemed like a fairly silly complaint from my perspective. But for this particular mission, that's like exactly what we're able to do, right? Instead of, you know, Baldwin here does not complain about this being too easy for him. So what I would like to do is open it up to you guys. If any of our previous recruits would like to volunteer themselves to lead a party, then that's who I'm going to end up taking. I'm going to do a very similar first come, first serve kind of scenario, but, you know, any of our already named characters, if you say, like, yeah, take me, then, you know, what we might end up with, and I'm going to purposely use an example that cannot happen, but, you know, we might end up with, like, Reynald leading a party of low-level characters into the dungeon to just sort of assure their survival, and kind of see what it looks like to have a high-level character take on, you know, such easy foes. I would probably even be more inclined to do something like a level 6 leading out like a level 4 party, or you know, a level 3 taking out a level 1 party, something like that. Just you know, let me know, and I think that could be quite cool. Also, as a reminder, if anybody wants to be our next Vestal, just drop a comment and we'll first come first serve to let that go as well. Man, I love the way that looks, by the way. It's just, I can't get over it. Very, very cool. I like the gesture there, kneeling with his loot. That's a loot, right? That's probably a very silly question for me to ask, but I'm pretty sure that that's a loot. Just, you know, don't sue me. All right, that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like or a comment if you have anything to say about this or any of my other videos, and I will catch you guys next time.